Greetings all, welcome to another session here of Tuzi Talks. Today we're going to be on our third installation of Moodle. We're going to be looking at two areas that are pretty much on the screen that you can see. Those are your resources and your blocks. I want to be focusing on blocks, especially blocks that I find interesting or I find useful. So we're going to be covering things like the calendar and attendance. We'll look at Quickmail and Marking Manager and a couple others. We're also going to look at a lot of the resources available and ways that you can add resources, like adding a file or a folder, and some others. Let's jump right over to our sample course and see if we can start adding some blocks to the course. Okay? So here we are in our sample course, and you'll note that I've already logged in here, and now I'm going to turn on editing. I turn on this little editing button. Remember, you got two options here for turning on editing. I'm going to turn on editing on. And then I'm going to start moving some things around. Please bear in mind that you can always drag and drop things right onto this from your file manager or from your desktop. Makes it a nice and easy way to add resources to your course. So the first thing that I want to do is I'm going to move these over to the dock. I'm going to push these over to the dock just by clicking on this button right here. And I get them pushed over to the dock. You'll note at the bottom of all of my panels there, I've got another panel called Add a Block. And so that's what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be adding some extra blocks today. We'll start off with the attendance block. If you want to use this system to add attendance capabilities, you can do that. So all I have to do is add this particular block, and you'll note there's a little message here that says, this block can only work if you have an attendance activity. So we're going to have to go over here and add an attendance activity. Once we do that, then this block will work. So let's click over here to Activities and click on Attendance. We have the option to give it a name and give it a grade. We're not going to give attendance a grade in my class. Showing up does not give you credit. You got to do work. Let's return to display this particular activity. Attendance is set up via a variety of sessions. Now this course doesn't have any sessions because we didn't add any. So the first thing you do after you make an attendance activity is you've got to add some sessions. So we'll click on the Add button and we'll add some sessions. We're going to be adding multiple sessions, so we'll click right here. We'll have classes begin today, and let's end on, let's say July 15. So we're going to create all these sessions during these particular weeks. Let's have classes on Tuesday and Thursday. You can decide what you're doing. You're going to also decide how many frequencies, how many times per week you're going to do this. You can add a description if you want. I'm not going to. And we've created the sessions. Now that the sessions are made, I can go and look at them. Take a look at what these sessions look like. Okay, here are all the sessions. Okay, and I can take attendance. I can configure the attendance program, or I can delete this particular session. Why would you delete a particular session? Well, I just made activities from May 28th until July 15th. I may have hit July 4th. I don't know. If I did, that's going to be a holiday, and so I'm going to have to get rid of that particular day because I don't want to take attendance on that day. Okay, you can also run reports, find out what the percentages are of attendance for each particular person. And you can export this material out so that you can give it to someone else. Let's go back to our course. And you'll note that after we get back there, this has now changed. I can now take attendance from right here. All this block does is makes it easier to take attendance. I don't have to go down here and look for where's the attendance button. I just come right here and take it. I know where it is. Okay? So that's the attendance block that you can add. Let's go add another block. Let's add the calendar block, which is the next one on our list. And we click on the calendar block, and you'll note the calendar does pop up. Now I can hide or show events. And what you're going to see here, for example, that's today. There are no events for today. You jump over here to June. You'll note this has a block. This has something on it. Well, there's an event here. They're supposed to be posting their first paper. If you'll remember, in an earlier session, we created this thing right here where students have to post a paper. Well, that deadline is listed here. So it's going to automatically pop up for your students. So you can hide, so you're going to be able to see events activities as they're due on this little calendar. You can, of course, hide events. If there's a group event, you can hide and show. If there's a course event, or if there's a global event, something that's happening for your entire school or your entire organization. So that's the calendar. Now I want to add more blocks, but these blocks are kind of in my way right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to send them over to the dock. I'm going to dock these so that they're out of my way. Now I can add more blocks. What's the next block that we want to add? Let's see here. A dictionary. We'll do a dictionary. So let's add a dictionary block. And you'll note down here there's a little dictionary block that you just click on it and open her up. Okay, first thing that you'll see is that there is no dictionary selected, so we have to go add a dictionary. You can pick probably any dictionary that you want. I'm going to see if I can get Oxford. I don't know if it's going to work, but we'll find out. So now that we've selected a dictionary, so all we have to do is double-click on any word, and a definition is going to pop up. A little pop-up window is going to show and explain what that particular word is. Doesn't matter where that word is. Let's see here. Let's open up this paper 1 and format. And you'll note I continue to pop up that explains what that particular word is. So you can have this for any of your classes, have it set up so that your students can understand what it means. Great little tool to have. That's a dictionary. So you set the dictionary, and then you can tell your students anything they double click on, they can get a meaning for it. Great for teaching reading. Students are reading something and they don't want to be particularly bothered by going out and looking for something. They can just double click on a word. Nice little tool to have. Let's throw that over to the dock. Let's add another block. And let's take a look at this down here. Let's go to Quickmail. We can do Quickmail, which is a mail program. With Quickmail, you can go in and compose an email to all your students in the class. You can create signatures. Obviously, you can have alternate emails. You can configure. You can decide who can use the program. So you can have it only for you, or you can have it for all of your students, and they can use that particular program. Not much more to do with Quickmail, unless you want to configure who can use it, and I'm not going to go into that now, so we're just going to push that to the side and open up another block. Another block that I have here is called Marking Manager, one that I use all the time. The Marking Manager basically tells me what grades, what needs to be graded, what has been graded, what's been drafted. I can look at grade reports, right? I can look and see everything that's being done so that I, as a teacher, when I come to this course, immediately I know, oh, I've got stuff to grade. And I can click on any of these links and it'll show me what's yet to be graded or what has already been graded. And so it's a great little tool to have. You throw this over to there to the dock. And let's finish up with what are the other elements that I need here. We've looked at dictionary. Okay, the last one is just Wikipedia. And Wikipedia, I think I've shown you before. That's all it is an access to Wikipedia. It's a nice little block that we can have. Just do a search and it'll automatically go for it. So you see I've got a lot of blocks here. Blocks, 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 all over the place. I can leave them docked, or I can put them places. Now let's return this one here. And I'm going to zoom out a little bit. It may be a little difficult to read for some of you, but I'm going to pull out Quickmail and add this back here. Now I like Quickmail, but I want Quickmail to be on top. So I'm going to try to grab Quickmail if I can, drag it over here, and put it on top. So now Quickmail's over there on top. And I know that I want my marking also to be on top, so I'm going to pull this out here, and I'm going to see if I can drag my marking up higher and replace the calendar. Okay, and I couldn't get that one to work that way, but I should be able to push this down, right? There we go. So I'm going to push it down, down here, and I'm going to try to do the same thing here. I'm going to try to push this up. There we go. Now I've got space for the marking. You can see I can put things in different places if I want. Let's push the dictionary out here, and I don't want the dictionary here. I'm going to try to drag it and put it over here below my Quickmail. Okay, and that's not going to work, it looks like, so I'm going to have to push this down manually. And I'm going to move it down here, and now I've got my Quickmail and my dictionary. I can also put the attendance block in. In fact, I'm not going to do that. So I can just show you that I can move these blocks around to different locations depending on my preference. Now some students do not like to have all the crowdedness in here. They'd rather have everything docked. They can do that. As a student, they can move these things around. And then it'll show up that way for them when they look at it. And those are the major blocks that I'm interested in. Again, it's marking and Quickmail, a little dictionary program, a calendar. All these are nice little programs. Calendar. Yeah, all these are nice little programs that you can have sitting around available to you while you're teaching your class. And so that's it for the blocks that I want to show you. Let's now go back and look at some of the resources. And the resources I'm going to be looking at basically all the major components there that are available in resources. So let's take a look at some of the resources that are available. Click on Add a Resource, and we're going to look at a file. Right? Adding a file is basically you're going to give it a file name, and you're going to upload a file. I don't know of any files that I have here, so I'm going to go take a quick look. Those are music. How about a reading activity? And let's do the Alligator River. That'll do. And we'll select that. Okay, and that's the file. So now I know what I want to call this. Okay, read the following. Read the... and follow the instructions. I can turn this on and make it prettier, bold, increase the font size if I want. Okay, and that's the file, and then I'm just going to save and display. Okay, and so there's the link that they're going to click on. They don't have to click on it. Sometimes you can just have it set up that it'll automatically pop up. And that's really all you do with regarding to adding a file. Right? You add a resource, you click on Add a File. You give it a name, you give it a description. If the file is on your computer, you can just go add it or download it. Or if it's on, if it's on the system, you can add it or download it. If it's on your computer, you just have to upload the file. Okay, and that's a file. Let's look at the other ones here. Let's look at a folder. You want to make a folder. And you make a folder for your class. So let's just say reading activities. So you make a folder and you call it reading activities, right? Reading activities. This folder contains activities for you to read in your free time. Okay. So again, I could open up the folder and make stuff there, but okay. So I have this folder. I'm just gonna save and display right now. Okay, and there's a folder and it's empty. Go back to the class. And you'll see that I've got something here called reading activities. Now I have an edit button. Students aren't going to have an edit button, but what that's going to do is allow me to add stuff to this folder. Now I can create this folder with all this stuff for my students to read, well, in this case, when they have free time. Creating a folder is not hard. Again, you just want to upload and add materials as you go along. Let's go look at the next resource that we're going to be looking at. I think we've looked at a label already, so let's go look at a page. Okay, and a page is simply a website where you're going to create information. And it's basically a web page. Now, this one I'm going to open up and make this a web page because I am going to be creating stuff. This is materials development. So I'm going to have a list of materials development here. Now, rather than go through the process of making it, I'm going to copy all this stuff that I have right here from another class and copy this and then paste it back here. Okay, but all this of course you can do. You can center, you can move things around, you can add links, and when you're done, whoops, that's the description, that's in the wrong place. This is a page of materials software. Here I post the page. Okay. Again, you can modify all that as you want. appearance is no big deal. Save and return to course. Okay, so now we got something here called materials development, but it's basically a web page that you created. And here's the page that we created here. Okay, materials development. So adding a page is really no big deal. Again, it's just like a word processor. Okay, you're not uploading a document, you're creating a document online. Next thing we can do is do a tabbed display. And this is similar. Let's just call this materials development as well. Okay, and oddly enough, the description is not necessary. So I've got one tab where I can add stuff. Let's open this up. And if you'll recall, we had stuff here. Let's just do audio-visual. Just take this information and copy it. Go back to our class. And this first tab is audio-visual. Okay, so this is audio-visual. Let's make another tab. So this is one tab. Let's make another tab. And let's call this tab Classroom Management. Go back here, and we'll call this Classroom, whoops, wrong one. Tab 2. There we go. We'll call this Classroom Management. And let's move up here and grab this title. Put it here. And let's add another tab. All right. And let's call this third tab what? We'll call this third tab. We'll call this Graphics and Desktop Publishing. I'm just taking stuff that was in one tab and now putting it across 3 tabs. Okay, so we're going to copy this. And this is enough. We don't need any more tabs. Okay, now that we're all done, let's just save and display. So now we have a tab display. Audio visuals, classroom management, graphics, and desktop publishing. Go back to our class. So now I've got material software here, and that's a tab display, and it looks like this instead of one big long list like this page is. This is a page that we're looking at, and the other one is a tab display. And you decide what you want to do. They're both essentially web pages that you can create. The only difference is one's in tabbed format and the other one isn't. Okay, so we've looked at file, folder, page, tab display. Last one I believe is a URL, and that's just providing a link to something. So let's give it a link to YouTube, for example. We just need the word YouTube, okay, and then say this link takes you to YouTube. Okay, and then you go down here and you put in the link. Okay, and the link here would be http:// okay, and save and display. Okay, this link takes you in. Here's the link. You go back to sample, and there it is. Bing. Okay, and it takes you to this one, and you can then just go there and do it. Okay, that's a link. So these are the main things that I wanted to cover today in this class. I wanted to show you about the resources that you can use, some of the blocks that you may be interested in, and so those are the main things that I wanted to cover. If you do have any other questions regarding this, you can certainly drop me a note down below or shoot me an email. I do want to thank you for stopping by, and I will talk to you again. Bye-bye now.